Hello everyone. Welcome to my kitchen and welcome to my pastry lab today. As I mentioned you last time, we are gonna have some lives during this Saturday's live, and I'm gonna show you how I make some pastry base for my cakes and for my desserts. What I usually do is, of course, taking advantage of my Thermomix, especially for today that we're gonna make crème patisserie, which is super easy with the Thermomix, and you don't have to keep it measured and controlled continuously, because you don't need to check any temperature, you don't need to check any consistency. You just let it work and you'll have a perfect texture and perfect result at the end. Last time we did a short crust pastry lesson. I show you how I made the dough. I actually making some videos on how I gave the shape to the shell, let's say that. Hi Cecile. And I'm gonna post the video later today, but I'm gonna show you the result, and I'm gonna show you the tools that I use to have that result. So this is the shell that came out of the oven. As you can see, my kids had fun too, and they had a taste and a test. It's been approved, but it came out just like that because of them. And so this is the end. So it's a perfect clean and neat design, and you can fill it with everything you want. You can fill it with some jelly, you can fill it with the crème pâtissière, you can fill it with some chantilly or whatever you have in your mind. So this is the result. To have this one, so to have these perfect, clean, and straight shapes, I used this ring, and this is a perforated ring, as you can see here, and it goes with this mat that is perforated as well, and with this sheet pan. So everything together give you a perfect shape and a perfect cooked level, because it allows to dry, and it allows the air to go through the best way. So it's a really teeny tiny investment, but if you love tarts, if you love fruit tarts, if you love all these kind of cakes, it gives you a professional touch to your homemade creatures. So we are gonna start with the crème pâtissière. You have tons of different recipes on Cook-I-Do. If you have your Cook-I-Do app on your phone and down on your hand, just give a look now and search for that. You'll see tons of different recipes, as the world is plenty of so many different options. As it was for the pastry, for the dough that we just made, every different recipe has a different result. So depending if you're gonna use flour, if you use starch, if you use egg yolks, if you use whole eggs, if you use whatever you're gonna use, the result is gonna change. So you have to decide what you like and try one recipe that is good for you. Thermomix has a special mode that is called thicken mode, and this mode, depending if you have a cream with eggs or not, so you can switch to the two different ways. I'm going to show you how. It's going to make you cook what you have in the bowl at a certain temperature, which is the right temperature you don't want to go over to. So if you're going to cook something with eggs, like for us today, you don't want to go over 80 Celsius. If you go over 80 Celsius, your eggs are going to destroy your cream, and the result has to go to the trash can straight to the trash can. If you can keep the temperature, the result will be perfectly smooth. And it's so hard when you have to keep the temperature always the same when you're working on the stove. And if you have, when I had the opportunity, when I bought the Thermomix for the first time, to keep the temperature, you are amazed and you cannot believe how the result can be. So let's just start. For today, I'm gonna use my personal recipe that is, well, it's not mine. It's one of the biggest pastry chef in Italy. His name is Eugenio Massari. And he, of course, he has tons of different recipes, but I like this recipe. You can find on the web. The name of the cake is torta allegra, means happy cake. And I like the cream that he's gonna use. So he's gonna make the crème pâtissière, and at the end, when it's cool enough, he's gonna add some whipped cream. So it's gonna turn into a chantilly cream. That's the way we call it in Italy. I'm not sure chantilly cream in French is the same, but this is the Italian version of chantilly, which is crème pâtissière and whipped cream together. So we're gonna cook today the crème pâtissière with the Thermomix, with my recipe, but in the Thermomix, because you can use thicken mode with all the recipes that you have and you already have. And I'm gonna let it cool down, and I'm gonna show you with a video that I'm gonna show you later on today how I can mix together and how the result it will be. It will turn out to be more fluffy and more soft as just the cream, and it will be delicious. So let's start. I know, Cecile. I know it's a little bit different, but of course, we have to make our fantasy way. So, in order to have this, I can show you, I want to show you first the recipe that I usually do when I follow Cook I Do recipe for the crème pâtissière, and it's right here. I saved on my week. Of course, you can always save all the recipes on your menu, on your weekly plan, and it will be great. Here is the crème pâtissière. As you can see, I have 3 small dots, and I want to show you a new feature that Thermomix just added in the past few weeks, which is, I don't know if you can see that, add to shopping list. That means that you can send it to your shopping list straight from the Thermomix. And from your app on your phone, you can send the shopping list straight to your grocery store, and you can receive that with Instacart or with a special service of delivery. You can receive the ingredients that you need right at your front door. So if you're missing something, you don't wanna get out, you don't wanna spend time going to the grocery. Just order them from your app and you'll receive them. So I'm gonna start. This is the recipe, of course, and it's gonna use the thicken mode. But as I told you, I'm gonna use my own recipe, which is basically, we have to throw in all the ingredients and we're gonna make it work. So for this recipe, we need milk, salt, vanilla bean, if you have it, or you may use some vanilla extract, better than vanilla flavor, egg yolks, flour or rice starch. If you want to have a gluten-free version, just go with rice starch, sugar, and glucose syrup. Glucose syrup, it looks strange. You can find it at all Michael's shops and all the shops that have this Wilton section. Hi Carolina! All the Wilton section for decorating cakes and for stuff like that, they all have the glucose syrup. It's super easy to find. We're gonna put them together. I have my recipe in grams, Every time you want to switch to grams or from grams to ounces, you can always do that in the settings section. So really, really easy. So we need today 330 grams of, oops, let me move that so that it's gonna be a little bit easier for you to see. There you go. 330 grams of milk. I put some vanilla, a vanilla bean that I had. It was empty, but if you use the pulp and you have just the bean, the shell outside, just don't throw it away. It's plenty of flavor. Use it, maybe put it in your sugar box or in the milk if you need to do some recipes, and it will give you the flavor. So it's plenty of life. So we have 330 grams of milk. This is the vanilla bean that I put in the milk. And then we add some salt, 1 gram of salt. And then we have the vanilla bean, of course, egg yolks, 80 grams of egg yolks. Egg yolks is the main part of the recipe because it's what gives you the silky and thick texture to your cream. If you cook at the right temperature, which is 80 Celsius, you have the proteins of the egg yolks that will start to coagulate, but they're not gonna overcook. So there will be the right texture. And then we have flour or rice starch. I'm gonna use rice starch. It's more silky and creamy. And of course, if you need to have a gluten-free version, that's what you wanna use. Last, some sugar. And Lorenzo, would you please bring me the chocolate in the microonde, please? And the glucose, the syrup. Since it's very thick, it has the consistency of honey. And it's hard to take it out, just warm it up a little bit, and it will be way easier to take out from all the containers. So you can see it's really thick. It's like a glue. So we put all those ingredients together. We don't have to work the milk first and then wait for the egg yolks and whisk the powders. We throw everything in, like we're doing now. And cover with the lid. And we're gonna slide until we see on the screen all the molds, the pre-selected molds. We are going to go to the last page, which is thicken mold, which is my favorite, because I don't know if you ever done that, but every time you have to do creams like this one, for example, you always need to stir, you always need to stay there, you always need to check the temperature. Disaster. Here, bechamel sauce, crème pâtissière, crème anglaise, custards, whatever, it's gonna be easy. And I'm gonna show you the screen. So the screen has approximately 12 minutes of working. Temperature 80 Celsius, as I told you, it's the temperature you want to reach when you work with egg yolks. And of course the screen, the circle that makes you start. If you're not sure that this is the right option for you, just press I here on the top left corner and you can read the instructions, so it's very easy not to do any mistakes. and it tells you that temperature, guys, says that use 80°C when you use egg, and 100°C when you use flour or corn flour. So when you use something that is more you need a higher temperature. All right, we're fine. I'm gonna use 80°C. We're gonna just turn the key and we're all set. It's gonna do all the jobs. It's gonna feel the temperature of the ingredients, so he can adjust the time. As we see, at the beginning it was 12 minutes, now it's on 10, because the ingredients were like at room temperature. Ciao, Ago. I'm still waiting for your chocolate next time. And so you will see, you don't have to do anything. The blades are gonna do the job. The temperature will be perfect, so it will not be overcooked. When you overcook the crème pâtissière, you have like I don't know, a jelly and all like seed consistency that you don't like. So you want to have a smooth, silky, and perfectly fine consistency and texture. And this is what we're gonna have when you let the thicken mode work. So this is what you do. I'm gonna let it work for 10 minutes. I don't wanna keep you for longer than that. I will show you the result. I will show you the result that comes out from the bowl in 10 minutes. And I will show you when we put the crème pâtissière with the whipped cream. And I'm gonna show you, Cecile, what an Italian chantilly cream is. And we will fill our short crust pastry that we made last Saturday with my kids' approval mark. And we'll see. We'll try that for you, and we're gonna let you how it tastes like. Thank you so much for watching us. For those of you who are in the United States or just want to stay awake a little bit longer if you're from Italy, tomorrow we're gonna have a live session, a live cooking party here from Charlotte, but of course it's gonna be a virtual one, so it will be on Zoom. If you want to connect and see what we are cooking, just let me know. I will send you the link and I will send you the invite. For those of you who are already registered, we'll see you tomorrow. We're gonna cook back to school menu. I know we're not in school yet, but many of you prepare lunch boxes as well as if we were going to schools in person. So this is gonna be a good 1 hour session. We're gonna show you some really short, easy, and perfect for kids recipes that you can prepare for your lunch boxes. In the meantime, it's starting to make the blades going faster. And it will be an amazing way to know more recipes and to see how Thermomix can help you in those crazy days. While you have to do everything, you have to be a teacher as well for so many different grade levels. But also you have to cook, you prepare something. So we'll see you tomorrow at 2:30 for those of you who are joining us. For those of you who don't, we'll see you next Saturday for the next recipe from my pastry lab. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. See you soon. Here's the sound. It's done, as you can see. Let's see how it turned out. I can't believe it looks perfect and it smells even better. I want to show you the texture of the crème now and how thick it is. Of course, we have to make it cool down. I'm gonna take a bowl and I have to pour into the bowl and close with film on top and straight to the fridge, maybe even the freezer, because it has to cool down immediately. The faster the better, because it has less time to, it's better for the preservation, so it will be better. I'm gonna clean it. You can perfectly smell the vanilla, even though it was just a bean in the milk, but it's fantastic. It was a real vanilla. So if you find small black dots in your creams, that means it's amazing. So that means they're using a real vanilla, which is expensive, and so that means whoever made your cake is taking care of quality of the ingredients, because it's the proof that that's a real one. It's not chemical, it's not industrial, it just tastes as vanilla should taste. There we go. And film, plastic film, just like that. So it has to touch the cream, so make sure that all the plastic is touching it. And now it goes to the fridge. We're gonna let it cool down. When it cools down the right way, we're gonna add the whipped cream. See you. Hello, welcome back. I have the crème patisserie that we just made out of the fridge. I just took out the film that was on top of that. Every time you take it out of the fridge, just make sure with a whisk, just whisk it a little bit. Alright, so the texture can change completely. So what we have to do now in order to have our chantilly cream, Italian chantilly cream, is to whip a little bit of cream and to add our cream to the crème patisserie that we have. And then we're gonna use the cream for the dough, the shell, the crust that we made with the short crust pastry recipe from last week. So we have to whip. How to whip in a Thermomix. Let's switch the camera. We have to use this tool. This tool is called butterfly. It looks like a butterfly, and we have to insert on the blade. So we don't have to take out the blades. We just have to put this on. And every time we put it, just right there. This is okay. And then we have to measure 250 grams of whipping cream. So we're gonna use our screen. On the screen we can slide it and all the modes will show up. We just need a scale. We're gonna press scale. We have grams there. And when it goes to 0, it's very sensitive, so watch out when you're around 250 grams. Alright, it's a little bit over, no problem. So we're gonna put the lid on. Every time we're gonna use the butterfly, so every time we have to whip something, just make sure you don't go over speed 4. So we always say 4, no more. Alright, so we go back to the home screen and we're gonna let it go for a few seconds because we don't want to have it too thick. We want to reach a soft, thick whipped cream. So we're gonna go to, let's say 3. just check it out every once in a while so you don't go over it. Otherwise, it will be perfect to have a butter. If you want to make your homemade butter, just use cream and you have a perfect fresh butter made in your Thermomix. There's a recipe on Cook I Do. You must follow that recipe, and so you'll make sure that all the steps are made properly and you have a perfect result. This is our cream after a few seconds. Gonna take this out. And in a bowl, we're gonna put everything together. And the cream in 3 times. So we're gonna add the first time, first part. No, and with my whisk. And then with the other 2 parts, we'll go a little bit softer and will be good. Try to go from the bottom to the top. Maybe. I know it sounds strange, but we're gonna try to light this cream up with adding some whipped cream.